Hi, everyone. Welcome to another one of our series for the Nonprofit Impact Exchange. My name is Michelle Byerly. I'm the Executive Director of the Nonprofit Partnership, and I am pleased to welcome Evelyn Hernandez from the Wilmington YMCA here today. Hi, Evelyn.
Hello, thank you for inviting me.
You are welcome. Thanks for being here. And just for all of our viewers, the Nonprofit Impact Exchange is really a chance for us to talk about nonprofit leaders and collaborators out in the community that are really making an impact through working with others, working alongside community, and creating those changes and impact. And so thank you for being here. And we want to thank the Port for sponsoring this series as well. And so I'd love to just dive right in. Um, so can you give us an overview of the YMCA in Wilmington and the mission that drives your work?
Yes, so sure. Our YMCA in Wilmington, along with all of our YMCAs across the Los Angeles, we have a very we have a vision and mission that drives our work. And that mission is commitment to empower our communities, support our generations of leaders who will shape the tomorrows, right? And it's through a collaborative effort that we can engage more youth and make these impactful changes within our communities, but also within ourselves that trickles to the others, right? Our families, our communities, and so forth. So that is the mission.
And I know I was sharing with you earlier, I got my start in nonprofits with the YMCA. And so they hold a special place in my heart. And I know that's where I learned about collaborating with community and finding ways to address the needs that are happening. And can you share some of those current projects or programs that you're focusing on right now to meet this need?
So currently we have our partnership with Providence and the Wilmington Best Start Network. And that partnership has been an incredible um, asset and bridge to our community and also to our YMCA. So what it allows is to showcase, highlight programming from our YMCA facilitated by our professionals, but over at a local community and activity center like Providence has in collaboration, in partnership with the Wilmington Best Start Network. So that's an exciting project. And that falls under their focused with access for all. So and that's really the idea is that regardless of membership, that our communities, our kids, our youth, our seniors, they have a chance, an opportunity to experience a YMCA program at, in their neighborhood without having um, to get a membership, right? Because we understand that our communities, they face a lot of different challenges and a membership, even though our, YMCA, we offer financial assistance for all. That's so important, so crucial to mention is that we do our best to make sure that we keep our membership prices in a balanced, comfortable setting, but also that we have programs that families can apply for financial assistance because we understand that um, there's a lot of priorities and needs, and sometimes within our communities, health and wellness and access to a gym membership per se can be very costly. And it sometimes it's do I send the payment for the gas bill or do we join a membership? So what we're trying to do, and I think what partnerships like Best Start and Wilmington Best Start and the TNP, what that allows for is for um, those conversations to take place
Hmm.
and that with communities involved, right? We want to hear, so what are those barriers? What would be easier? Because we know that there's lots of disparities and we want to be also their well-being center. So our YMCA, it's the Center for Well-being, for community well-being.
That's great. And I know you were just sharing you came from a sound bath earlier today, and wellness is so important for communities. And I know that access is something that you're focused on. And it's it's great to have organizations like you just really understanding what the needs are and then being able to provide programming. And so what other things, I know you're taking that program out in the community, which is amazing because you're not bound by, the walls of your organization, but also you have a lot that you offer there. What are some of the other programs and offerings that you have as the YMCA?
So with our YMCA, we offer youth development, healthy living programs, and social responsibility. So for example, for our youth development, we do have our youth program. We have our Get Summer. Summer's coming right around the corner, right? So Get Summer allows for teenagers, adolescent age, young minds to come to the YMCA during the summer months without paying for their membership. So they have full access for their YMCA membership without a cost to them. We also developed a relationship with a local nonprofit connected to LEAD, and they
Mm-hmm.
offer leadership classes. It's an 8-week series, and it has, you know, social responsibility. They help them really understand what their talents and their strengths are, and then develop a plan around how do we meet those goals. So if it's building a resume, they help with their resume. They do mock interviews. They also offer paid internships through these programs. Last summer, we collaborated with another local nonprofit, SBCC, and they brought over a paint and digital paint, an
Mm-hmm.
animation program for our kids. And we hosted a graphic design for youth. So those are programs that are through partnerships.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from that, let's see. There's so much. We have our enrichment program.
And
This is
we'll have someone put the link to your website in
great.
on this feed that we have and make sure that they can find out more too there. But keep going. Let me know more.
So that's a bit for youth. We have youth sports, right? So we have a partnership with the Junior Clippers team, with the LA Kings hockey team. So we offer a variety of different sport opportunities. And in partnership with Best Start, we actually have the Junior Clippers, and we're going to be rolling. We rolled out. It's free sports.
Wow.
So this is
Great.
available for kids ages 4 to 12 and
Mhm.
even beyond, where they don't have to pay for their membership league. And it's on a Saturday, also making it accessible for the families to be part of those opportunities because we want the parents to engage. So we're always open to parent volunteer opportunities. Dribble the ball with your kids. It's okay because it's not as structured,
Mhm.
and it allows for those family bonding opportunities to take place. Um, with
And
our
as a
enrichment
parent of four,
programs.
I appreciate, the access to these leagues because it's hard to have all of your kids involved in different sports and different things, and also the timing as working parents being able to get to a practice or something else. So making it accessible for timing, like you mentioned, all of those are really critical and shows that you're really listening to the community needs and what's needed in the program structure and in meeting that.
Yes, so those are held Saturdays 10 to 12
Mhm.
p.m. And moving to our younger minds, so our enrichment program, it's a program, so there's an after school program, and part of that program is homework help. So we have facilitators, trained professionals helping the kids with their homework after school from 3:30 to 5:30. They plug in, they take out their homework, and they have support during that time. We know that, I have an 8-year-old. Michelle, I do not understand his math. I
Yeah.
simply, even if I try to help him with his homework, we've gotten it wrong a lot of times. So having those opportunities to have that support and that child, even just having that small group and having other students next to them, and they're all working on their homework together, the burden feels lighter for them. So once right, once
Mhm.
they're done with their homework, throughout the week, there's different activities that they can choose to register. For example, Mondays we have arts and crafts. Tuesday we have the Lego Club. Wednesday, we have a kickboxing that happens. Thursday, we have STEAM. Friday, it's Fun Friday. Michelle, today's Fun Friday. So we're gonna do a little dancing.
Oh, nice.
So we have our dance group choreography.
Cool.
And so there's a little bit for everybody because we understand we're all very different and children are too. So we also try to lean into what we see, what we are present. Oh, they like Legos. Let's move into that, right? Or our kids love to dance. So can we create a dance club? And so it's just being present, I think, for our kids as we were just talking, you know, it's very hard for the parents. Parents are working. Usually it's two-parent home. Parents are working. And we're doing our best. We truly are. So I think I speak for myself. I'm a proud YMCA member. My child is in the enrichment program, and I can say it has reduced the anxiety of just coming and knowing the packet is still this big
Yeah.
and looking around and saying, wow, I don't have anybody that can help me help my child. So the enrichment program has really been evident, and even just post-pandemic,
Mhm.
hearing and being involved in coffee with the principals, community meetings, hearing from the parents that their kids, and even just from school administrators, like our kids, their language writing skills have really declined, right? Because we were
Mhm.
in that historical period.
Right.
And Zoom, it's a great tool, and I think it's definitely expanded our communication and our reach. However, there's some fundamentals in education and reading where you're getting to see the phonics and the
Yeah.
movement of the facial movement, and you're getting that, right? So that was we didn't just hearing from the community that our kids were having trouble just readjusting to the
Mhm.
routine of not wearing a mask. We wear a mask, we don't. We go to school, we not this week. And
Mhm.
so being the place, the hub, their center for community well-being, where they know that there's gonna be the team of enrichment program. They're gonna see, you know, Miss Jean, they know that they're going to get the help that they need for their homework. And we have seen over these last, I'm going to say, 2 years, the kids testing and parents letting us know, like, I can let you know my child's Dibbles score, so it's
Mhm.
like standardized
Yeah.
testing. It doubled. It
Wow.
doubled from just being part of the program. I do really credit the program and
Mhm.
the time that our facilitators take to provide that one-on-one and build their confidence. Really, it's building their confidence. It's saying, it's okay, let's try again. I'm here with you. Let's do this. We can take on this summary. Let's take it slow. Find a book you love to read. And bringing those enrichment opportunities to our communities, to our kids, and for the parents to know that when they're here, they are cared for, they are valued, they're respected, and we are there to support the entire family.
That's awesome. And I think the big piece of that is you're a trusted nonprofit in the community and they can go to you for any of those needs. And then I know, the part about really providing, there's a gap. And I know you said you have an 8-year-old, there's a big gap in those kids who were younger during the pandemic. And so those small groups that you can provide at enrichment centers and that help really does make a huge difference. So, but really critical in that is that the community trusts you to provide those supports. And so when you see the need and you're meeting that need, then they feel comfortable going there for that. So I think that's incredible. You talk a lot about collaborations and other nonprofits that you're working with, part of Best Starter and other places. What are some of the key factors that you think make collaborations between nonprofits successful? What advice would you give to organizations that are looking to partner with the YMCA or with one another?
Well, partnerships and collaboration, I think is the key to opening those doors of opportunities for our members, for our communities, that we are working united in, because we have the same goal: healthy communities, strong kids, healthy minds, strong bodies. And so finding and aligning our missions, our visions with other local partners allows us to extend our impact that much greater, right? For example, we don't have a graphic design program or facilitator, but our partners with SBCC, they have a graphic design program that has facilitators and volunteers. So having those conversations, doing, and sometimes being honest and authentic with our networks.
Yeah.
Because I find once you say we need support, we need help, then those opportunities, those organizations are like, hey, we do a veggie distribution. Oh, let's partner on a bigger event together, right? Or how do we maximize, I know I don't want to say it, budgets.
Yeah.
But
Right.
it is the reality of the nonprofit world. There's grants, there's budgets, but how do we then meet those gaps within our budgets, and those how do we make those deliverables so much greater? How do we
Hmm.
collaborate instead of isolate, right? How do we extend our budget if we partner
Hmm.
with other partners? Can we co-host this community event, right? So can we bring music from Boys and Girls Club? They
Hmm.
have a sound, and so I think it's just also meeting our community partners,
Hmm.
being just human with one another. This work, it tends to be very demanding, and we get into a certain role. And I think what's helped me is creating those relationships with our partners. And it maybe is like, can we catch up for a tea and tell me about all the wonderful things, right? And I'll tell you, and oh, we can collaborate on this. So I think it's really taking a step back and then leaning into those opportunities with honesty, with the intention to create more and be creative and innovative. I also think when we partner, it allows for those shared ideas, right? We're no longer just um, playing handball. Now we have a team of, right? Now we have a pitcher, now we have a catcher, now we have outfield. And it's really doing that outreach for our partners as well, and saying, well, how can we help you? So yeah, I would say also visiting their websites. Because as organizations, we have different visions and different um, not structure, but different focuses. So
Hmm.
sometimes we may know the YMCA as a gym, but we're so much more than a gym, right? I didn't get to talk about our early learning readiness program. So those are for our littles. And these are for opportunities for social bonding, but also that create that opportunity for the young child to have that social connection. And so I think it's really just having those conversations, um, tapping into our local partnerships and agencies and organizations. Sometimes we think, oh, I need to bring, the yoga instructor from Malibu. And, or we're like, well, we don't have open spaces, but actually, we do have a community garden. Can we do something in the community garden? We have a local farm. So just give you an example. In conversation, like who's been camping? And we noticed that only maybe a handful of kids had been camping. So we're like, how do we create a camping experience that we can walk to? It was within walking distance. So we took tents. They opened up their community farm to us. We made s'mores. They, so I think it's kind of how do we tap into those spaces that we do have, and how do we create new programming or new opportunities with because for the most part, sometimes I think we think, oh, there isn't this, but then what do we have around us? Who are our partners? And even just mapping it out for ourselves as well.
Mhm.
There's new agencies I didn't know, like, oh wow, they're just down the street. This is a new organization. I'm gonna have to go in and see what they're all about, right? So even mapping it out, and creating those, like we sometimes facilitate, who's your network,
Yeah.
recreating those for ourselves as well.
Great. That is, and I think you highlighted both, what are the things we can bring in as partners or we can provide, but just even asking other organizations or, oh, we need this service for our members. Let's find a nonprofit who does that. That's always what we're looking to for. We need entertainment for something. Let's get the youth, jazz group in, or partnering with SBCC for digital programming instead of feeling like, okay, we need a digital program. Let me hire the staff and do all of this, which takes a lot of the funding that we could just partner with our organizations. It makes them stronger. It makes us stronger and our program stronger. And so I, saw a lot of those opportunities you were highlighting. So thank
Yeah.
you. And I think spot on. It's about building those relationships. So, and I think you mentioned it earlier when you put out there, this is what I need help with, or this is what, I'm looking at for my program. That invites that in also. And I think that's a great way to build that rapport. Yeah.
And also something that I'm seeing, in my community are those roundtable caregivers or partners
Mm-hmm.
meetings that,
Right.
or information network meetings, and you invite those collaborators and those partners and the agencies, and you kind of just talk, right? Like, what do you guys do? What do you guys do?
Right.
But then those social conversations, we really get to learn more about one another,
Mm-hmm.
and then strategically develop a plan for a certain cause, right? So if it's I know, we had the wildfires,
Mm-hmm.
a couple, right? The wildfires is very recent. And one of the Pacific Palisades YMCA
Mm-hmm.
is no longer standing. So all of that community was very highly impacted. And we really saw how communities and partnerships, we show up in those times. Um, we're out in Wilmington, but we had residents drop off waters, canned goods. We had a local partners with they're a local security. They're called Black Knight Patrol. They do a lot of local work. They drove out and they picked up and loaded tons of water and just supplies, and they drove it all out to Altadena because
Right.
of our partnership,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so those are those opportunities that, maybe, and not opportunities, but those are those moments that you really see how impactful we are when we come together and
Mm-hmm.
we unite and we collaborate, and we can just be there for one another, because it's the wildfires for Pacific Palisades YMCA, but it could be a high crime rate for us, right? Or it could be our current tone of communities, how we're feeling impacted by
Yeah.
certain current times. And so it's really, like I said, it's kind of tapping into our humanness and our human kindness.
Mhm.
And then just realizing that, again, we're so much more stronger united.
Thank you. We're getting close to our time, and this has been so great. I've learned a lot, and I have met you and known about the Y for a while, so I'm glad we were talking today too. So how can community members that aren't currently involved get involved with the YMCA? Volunteering. I know every nonprofit is out there for financial support. If anyone can give and donate, we're always welcome to that. But how are other ways members can look to community members can get involved?
So twice a month, we host a program called Feed LA, and we distribute fresh veggies and fruits to the community. So we're always looking for volunteers to help bag the items, distribute, um, provide a friendly smile to the people driving through or walking by. We also, for our sports programs, we're always looking for volunteers to be coaches, mentors, our youth program mentors. If for our mock interviews, if you'd or if your organization or business would like to be one of the interviewees,
Mhm.
then those are ways as well. We have a youth and government program. We also look for mentors for our youth and government program. Within our Y, we're just our YMCA's are have always been very, very welcoming to volunteers. Volunteers really drive the work that we do. Um, we wouldn't be able to be the organization that we are without our volunteers, and we really saw that during the wildfires. We just hosted a volunteer recognition, a luncheon, and it's just incredible, the thousands of people, neighbors, business leaders that are part of our volunteer network, and the extent that volunteering really just goes far and beyond even just your local YMCA. But for us, sports coaches, um, reading to the kiddos, do you have time, extra time to be a reader? Do you love dance and would like to dance or have a for our Dia de los Muertos, our kids perform, and we had a retired teacher, and she just really loved to dance. So she did a 6 week dance program with our
Oh, how
kiddos, and they
fun.
performed on stage for our Dia de los Muertos 5K. So there's so many opportunities. Visit our website, and on our website, it's going to have Volunteer Matters. So
Okay.
if you go onto the Volunteer Matters and you put down your zip code and your interests of volunteers, right? The times and days is going to take you to a list of different locations
Mhm.
and volunteer opportunities.
Okay.
There's links to volunteer opportunities, and you sign up, and we just kind of go through the process because
Mhm.
we are working with children, so we definitely go through all the formalities of fingerprinting, and but that's because we are responsible for our littles, so we take all those processes very, very serious.
Great. Those are amazing opportunities. So we'll make sure the website is shared. Do you want to say it out loud just for anyone listening?
So on the website, Volunteer Matters. Don't know the official YMCA
Well, we'll
metropolitan
have it
because there's
in the chat.
28
Yeah, I will put
centers.
it on the screen. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And you mentioned there's just been a lot going on in the beginning of this year with the fires and new administration and other things happening in the community. What are some things you do working strongly with community to ground yourself or to take a break? What are some of the one or two things that you like to do to take that break for yourself?
Well, we mentioned it in the morning, but I love sound baths, so I facilitated a sound bath. It has been very well received by our community. I just kind of did it as at a health fair type of thing, and we've had 25 participants, even more. So that's something that I do for my personal self. I am a member of our YMCA, so Michelle, I am the one that I'm low on hours, but not on energy. Because I clock out and I join our cardio dance
Oh,
at 7 p.m. And in the mornings, I'm in the pool for our pool exercise class that is very gentle on our joints. So that's at 7:45 in the morning. And then on a personal note, I love boxing and martial arts. So I train boxing and Muay Thai, and then I do art, and then I listen to music. So I do so much, but it's because I think that it's crucial that as frontliners, as those caring individuals, we get to meet our community, but we're constantly talking with our community and hearing stories that are impactful. And we want to be the best us that we can be, to be responsive and not reactive.
Mhm.
And so I think that plugging in those meetings with yourself, I'm going to meet myself at 1 p.m. for 5 minutes. Right? Just creating those small opportunities. Can I take this meeting while I'm walking around the block?
Mhm.
Can I eat my lunch outside today? Right? In those 10-minute breaks, could I listen to a song that's going to uplift me? And I really, I think that those glimmers in our life are so important. Because as you can see, we did cats we did a cat spaying and pantry event. So lots of talking. I
Yes.
wasn't meowing. I don't know why I lost my voice, but yeah, lots of talking and communicating and sharing, because as you can see, we have a lot going on with our YMCA, and I'm always the one that wants to tell you everything, give you all the information, because I just think we are a catalyst in our community for wellness and well-being. And we are definitely always open to all. We are that safe space where you can come and, if it's fitness, if it's dance, if it's just meditating for a few minutes, that's all is welcome and all is okay. Yeah,
Thank you. This has been incredible. Thank you so much. Thank you for all that you do as a leader in the community and that the Y is doing in Wilmington and beyond. And I appreciate your time here today and sharing everything with us.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for watching, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.